Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this year's webinar on the Global Seafaring Human Resources Survey and Research Project. And of course, I'm very pleased to welcome, secretariats, officers of FOSMA, MASSA, member lines, all of the participating companies, and even our team from ISF is here who's been working behind the scenes. So a very warm welcome to everybody. This webinar has kind of become like a tradition in the last few years. Each year, once we release the preliminary report, we have a quick webinar where we are able to get everybody together. We share some insights. We walk you through some of the findings of the survey. We give you a demo of the portal. Of course, the project is still pending and you'll be hearing from us, throughout the year with the final report and other things. But yeah, it's still a nice get together and, a good way to catch up with everybody as well. So I will take you through the agenda for today. We will just do a brief introduction. I will give an overview of the GSHR, the Global Seafaring Human Resources, which is the name of this survey and project, how we operate and how the survey is conducted. We have selected some insights to show you from the survey. I will also be giving you a live demo of the portal, just quick 2 or 3 features that you will be using the most. What are the next steps? And finally, we can all just, have some Q&A. So this session, as I said, should be for about 40 to 45 minutes, not more. Right. So what is GSHR? GSHR, of course, as we all know, is our compensation and benefits survey that we do every year. It is to help ship owners, managers, manning agencies to help them budget crew cost and also evaluate the marketability, availability of manpower. So through this research project, we try to give you insights into how compensation and benefits are changing. What is the seafaring data? What are the additional benefits over and above wages that is offered to the seafarers, and how it can help you make informed decisions about budgeting in the near future. This is just a history, this kind of slide we show every year, how GSHR has evolved over the years. We started in 2009. FOSMA had initiated this compensation and benefits survey in 2009, and we continued on an annual basis. And in 2013, MASSA joined in and significantly boosted this process. We then continued doing this every year. In 2017, we also conducted a shore staff survey for Indian companies, Indian ship managing and manning companies, and benchmarking exercises. In 2018, we also did a benchmarking of Indian Maritime training institutes, and we had published the results for the same. Once COVID hit in 2020, of course, we had to take a hard look at how we do surveys and also, evolve with time. And that is when we launched the digital GSHR, which is the portal that you all access. We try to improve that portal every year with new features, and we try to stay as cutting edge as possible. We also use it to release the results and also see if you can get real-time insights from the same. And 2025 is where we are right now. So it's a nice progress to see, because in 2009, we started with 24 companies and about 7,000 seafarer data, which was primarily Indians. And today we have 51 participating companies this year and data of 75,000 plus seafarers from many nations. As you all know, many of you have seen the form now. There is Bangladesh, Myanmar, Philippines, etc. So data of many seafarers has now been calculated and published. Right. This slide is just to show you what happens in the activity. Of course, because we interact with you whenever we are doing this, you all must be aware. But just to give you an insight into how the overall thing looks. So sometime in May, we approach FOSMA MASSA for a brainstorming session. We also try to collect all the feedback from the previous year's survey. So using that and using any inputs and critical, inputs from FOSMA and MASSA, we put it all together and we see what could be incorporated in this year's survey. We take that away, and that will help us actually rebuild and edit the form every year. So you all must have seen that this year's form had quite a few new contents. We had some new content on additional benefits, women seafarers, etc. So all of that comes from the brainstorming session with FOSMA and MASSA at the start of this activity. Once we have modified our form, the form is sent to all of you to give your data, after which we do a verification session with all of you, which is confidential. And during the verification, we usually see some contracts so that we can compare the weight scale provided by you with the contracts that you actually give to the seafarers. After that, we take some time out, we review entire data, we do our analysis, we also update our web portal, and around August, we will release the preliminary results, which is what we have just done. And it is after that that we meet for this webinar. So that's why we are all here today. So once that results are released, you all can log in and you can see your benchmarked data and some trends, etc. After this, we will go back and we will start working on the final annual report. So we do research and literature review. Again, some of these inputs do come in the brainstorming sessions. So they could be either related to geopolitics or the changing trade and trends across the globe and how they may impact manpower requirements or the seafarer numbers. So we try to collate all of that along with the compensation and benefits data that we had collected during the survey from all of you. So put together is then what forms the contents for the annual report, which will be released around end of October. After that, and actually this was one of the feedbacks that we got a couple of years ago. I think most of you are already aware that wages are very volatile, compensation benefits contracts are very volatile, and they're changing very quickly. So participating companies want to know also wages at least twice a year. So, a second time in the year. And that is when we started doing another data update session around December, Jan. So this is not a full-fledged survey, but we just ask the companies to either replicate their data as it is and make the tweaks wherever it might be applicable. So there is no form filling or all of that again. And we don't even do verification. We just do data checks at our end. But you are able to update the compensation or wage scales that you are providing around December end. And the results for that are released again in January, resulting in a second preliminary report. That will be accessible to you through the portal. So basically, when you decide to participate in the survey, what you are part of is actually a kind of an annual membership that is from May to sometime next year in February or something. And then again, once you decide to participate in the next year's survey, your another 1-year membership will commence. So that is how we operate using this. Right, now coming to this year's survey, and what I'm going to do is, as I said, I'm going to share some findings, some key insights. Some of these things are already part of the preliminary report, the PDF report that you're able to generate from the portal, but we are just going to share some things here. So this year we covered 23 ranks, 51 participating companies, almost 5,000 plus ships across these companies, and 75,000 plus seafarers. On your dashboard, you may be seeing a number between 69 and 70,000, but that does not include the ratings of foreign nationalities, because we don't often are able to collect an exact number, so we don't put it there. But once you calculate, it'll actually be very close to about 80,000 seafarers. That data has been considered this year. Right. Another bit of information that we have collected in this year's survey is, of course, about the IGF vessels. So on the left, what you can see is the vessel types that are covered every year in our survey. And because, again, this was also one of the feedbacks that we should actually consider wages for the IGF vessels under IGF code separately and not just as an allowance. So we started doing that. That's when, the sections 2C and 2D were introduced in the form. So because we do that, and we also try to see the number of IGF code vessels that are there in this survey in the data set, that information is provided on the right. So the vessel numbers, we also try to ask you what is the fuel type in these IGF vessels. So LPG and some other fuels are leading, followed by methanol and ethanol. So there are about 233 IGF code vessels that we have captured in this year's data set, and it only seems to be increasing. So next year, within the same data set, it will reach 300, and the following year it will reach 330. So this year, as you can see, the number of IGF code vessels will increase. And of course, the expectation is that more and more companies will have. So probably this data will shoot up even more next year. Right. Then we had another section on capturing the how many women seafarers are there. Out of 51, 36 companies had responded positively for this particular data. And as you can see, the junior trainees, the deck cadets and trainee marine engineers make up most of the population. And towards the higher ranks, they significantly reduce. Master and chief engineer is lowest. This data comes to about 1.5 to 2% from in our data set. And it is actually consistent with also the globally published data, where it is stated that women seafarers are about 1.2 to 2% globally. Next is retention rate for Indian seafarers. This is also a part of your PDF report, which we have published. So we had requested for retention rate for Indian seafarers and also international, both of which you can find in your PDF report. And of course, we have here just represented the retention rate in decreasing order. So with deck cadet starting at 96 and electrical officer coming to 88. But the average retention rate, so just to clarify, this is the average retention rate is above 85% for all ranks that has been captured in the data set. And the standard deviation, minimum, maximum, which is there a part of a report, will also show you what are the extremes in each case. Right. Another section was additional benefits. And we had a yes and no questionnaire this time in the form, and details of which again are part of the report. They are published at the end, towards the end, after the wages benchmarking. But what we have tried to do in this particular slide is just to show you what are the most popular benefits that are being offered to seafarers to the lowest ones. So, onboard internet, mental health counseling, superior certificate allowance are the most popular benefits being offered, and scholarship, paid studied leave, company shares, loans, etc. Are given by very few companies. So this will give you a good idea of what are you giving, the most popular benefits, or you're giving all of it and you're a very generous company, things like that. So this will give you a good idea into that. Right. So with this, what I will do is I will just stop sharing. I have already covered some insights of the survey that I wanted to show you. I will now log in as a demo company, and I would like to show you some features of the portal. So if you give me a second, I will just start resharing my screen again. So what we have done for the purposes of this demo is we have created one new dummy portal. And this is not the actual portal that you're logging into. We have created a backup one, and we've created some dummy IDs just so we can show you how the features look like. And I'll take you, as I said, I will take you through some key 3 or 4 features which will help you navigate the portal best. And of course, if there are specific queries regarding your data, you can always schedule a call with us later on a more one-on-one basis. So as you can see, I have already logged on to this company dashboard, that is demo. So this is the first dashboard you see. I'm right now at the current survey dashboard. Yeah. So if you click on this, this is the page that you will see. It is also the one that opens automatically. You can see the participating companies, the populations surveyed, what are the vessels with full manning, partial manning, and the vessels under IGF code. We also provide a profile spread. So how many are ship owning, how many are ship managing and recruiting agencies, and what is the size that they manage is provided in this particular graph. Moving on, here is the seafaring population by rank. How many master, chief engineer, chief officer, etc. that we have captured is provided in this. So master, there are almost 4,000 plus, and gas engineers 200 plus data points that have been captured by this survey. This is about the number of companies that have responded positively to a particular vessel type. So be it oil tanker or bulk carrier. So you can see, so let's say 33 companies have responded and provided data and compensation for details for oil tankers, so on and so forth. So this is where it will give you for all the vessel types. Here is where you can see the graph of how the participation has been since 2009. And here is where we capture the trainee inductions over the years. So it also gives you how many companies have responded for that they have recruited trainees or not, and what is the total number captured across the entire data set. That is across all of the participating companies. This is a special glimpse into Indian seafaring onboard position. So we have captured vessel-wise and rank-wise the numbers on board, for Indian seafarers. So you will be able to see how the spread is and what the total number is. And again, I would just like to mention this is just for Indian onboard seafaring. And finally, the nationalities that we captured, we have just covered here. So you can actually see how many Filipino positions have been captured or how many Russian positions have been captured. You can also zoom in and zoom out of this world map. So this was the first first page that I wanted to show you. What I will do is I will directly jump to this page called wages percentile. Now, this is what I think you will be using the most, and I feel a lot of you have already explored this, but I'll still take you through it. This will just show you your standing as far as wages are concerned. Right? So let's say if I was to choose 2 nationalities because I want to compare. So you will have to just wait because it will give you real-time data. And then this is the type of graph that will be generated. So I will just walk you through it. So as you know, I have selected India and Philippines. Rank is master. I had selected oil tankers, and it will show me the wages for both first year and final year. If you have provided your company wages for this particular rank, it will be shown in these in the second last column over here. So this is where you will be able to see. Rest of the data that you can see here in orange is basically a breakdown of the entire data set. So let's say if I had received 32 wage points, 32 salary points for this particular rank, this minimum, maximum, and all the percentile is just basically analysis of all of those 32 data points. So minimum is of course the minimum in the set, maximum is the maximum in the set, and percent ranks are simply just percentiles that will tell you if, let's say, if it's P10 is 11,568, so 10% of the companies are paying below that. P90, 90% of the companies are paying below that, so on and so forth. And if your rank is, let's say, 25 or 51, if in this case, if it's 51, so that means so 51% companies are paying less than you. So what you'll be able to capture here is the various percent ranks, the minimum and maximum of the set. Of course, you get an average as well, your company wages and where you stand. And you can also see your company wages with regards to the wage scale in this graph itself. It will be mentioned in red. Yeah, so this is what will be most useful for you. And if you select a couple of nationalities together, you'll be able to benchmark them just right next to each other. So you can select up to 3 options in each drop down here, and then select and keep an you can analyze. You can also select 2 surveys, 2 different vessel types or 3 different vessel types, and compare them all against each other. You can also print this information and save it if you're only wanting to look at a particular rank or a particular nationality. Yeah. So I would just like all of you to remember this section, that is percent rank, that basically shows you where you stand in the industry. After this, I'll just take you to trends. Trends is another one. Again, you can make some selections here and generate so I've selected India and I just want to see for, let's say, 3 years, for example. So again, if you just give it a second, it will be showing you what is the trends across. So here it will give you the trends of the industry versus how your trends have been. So it gives you the average salary offered by the industry. So it will take an average of all of the data points and you will be able to compare it with the salary you're giving. So you can basically mark your trend versus the industry trend. Yeah. So this is actually a new addition. If you all remember, last year we did not have this comparison between industry and you, but now you can actually chart the trend comparison between industry and your wages, right? And I want to take you to this particular feature, which is your current heat map. So just to repeat, what we have covered currently is we have done current survey, which is a snapshot of everything. Wages percentile, I think, will be most useful for you to see various types of analysis. Trends, of course, is where we are right now. And now I'm taking you to current heat maps. So you may remember we were discussing this percent rank, right? Like what is your rank as far as the wages that you are paying? So what we have done is, this is also there last year. So if you want to see a snapshot of your percent rank altogether, you will be able to see here. So let's say for Russia oil tankers, your percent rank is 44%. So that means 44% of the companies in this data set are paying less than you. So you will be able to see a snapshot of your percent rank altogether. So you can actually see if, let's say, Indians were compared to Russians, how is it? Or, one vessel type versus other vessel type, how it may be. And you can do this heat map by nationality, by vessel, or by designation. Here for demo purposes, I have just shown it by designation. Yeah. So this is another feature you can use. I'll just come back to current survey. Preliminary reports is obviously where you can click and you can download the various PDF reports country-wise. And once you have downloaded them, only the first time it takes a while to generate all of data real time and encapsulate it into the PDF report. Once it's done, from the second, third time, it will be very quick. And we have done current heat maps. Your surveys is again just a snapshot of all the surveys, but will give you all the details altogether. Yeah. So all of the details of all the surveys conducted so far will be available here, right? Okay. So I've already done a demo of our portal. And of course, as I said, we can take some queries towards the end. I will just go back to sharing my presentation. So as we have already seen, these are the key elements of the digital report. We have seen the overview, the heat maps, the percentile, the trends, and the PDF report. So all of this together is what is being offered by the portal. And also once the final report is ready, the annual report, it will also be uploaded on the portal and you will be able to see it there. And what is next is from our side, we hope you can make full use of the portal. We do spend a lot of time and energy to keep improving things and to make sure things are as friendly as possible. And of course, any feedback from your side, we'll be very happy to incorporate. We also encourage that you can give the credentials of this portal to other people or other decision makers in your company so that they can simply log in and just collect data for that one rank that they want, on an urgent basis, or just that one vessel type that they want instead of going through pages and pages of a report. So if that is convenient for you, please do consider sharing these credentials within your organization. Of course, as I said, we will be coming back with the final report very soon. And since last 2 years, again, we have commenced our show staff survey. And if we will be sharing another email, and if all of you are interested, please do register your interest so that we can do the show staff survey for this year as well. Just quickly, I want to cover, I've already said bits about this, but what will be the contents in the annual report that you will be expecting end of October? So analysis of ongoing trade, its impact on the seafaring demand supply. We will also include some new literature on the new geopolitical situations because it is changing so fast, so nobody is able to keep track. So we will see what best we can do to compile all of it. We will do a comprehensive review, another one of seafaring compensation, and we'll try to tie it up with some of the geopolitical trends that is happening. We will do a distinct section on the IGF code vessels. Again, inclusion of additional benefits. It's there this time as well, but there are some more bits that we can add, which we will do in the final report. And of course, we do add a small section on the training facilities in India and some other seafaring nations, and highlighting what is the annual capacity and some related information, which will also be part of the report. Yeah. And last year we had added some training regulations, requirements, as per regulations. So if that is also a part which we can cover this year, we will try to do it.